When you need a good book and everybody does, tune in to the Book Buzz.
When you need a good book and everybody does, tune in to the Book Buzz.
When you need a good book and everybody does, tune in to the Book Buzz. Hello, everybody. It's time for another episode of Book Buzz.
Yay! We're so excited.
I am Kristen Fournier. I'm the librarian at Forest North Elementary.
I'm Jamie Wright. I'm the librarian at Jolie Johnson Elementary, and we are really excited to share some books with you, as we always do on our editions of Book Buzz. These books that we're going to share today, as always, are available both in the Forest North and Jolie Johnson libraries for checkout.
And probably a bunch of other libraries too. So if you don't go to one of our schools, there's a good chance if you look it up on our online catalog, it'll probably be there as well. If not, you can ask your librarian and they can get it for you.
We love our Round Rock librarians.
I know. I'll hook you up. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Good people. Good people. Sure. Agreed. What do you have up first today?
Okay. First one I got is Hey Water. This is by Antoinette Portis. Have you ever read any of her books? You probably have read a lot of them.
I like
she has a bunch of wordless ones.
I like this particular one especially.
This one's so cool. So this one is about different, it's kind of a cool like vocabulary builder for water terms. So like, here's an example. They show different forms of water, like here's ocean, the ocean spread. And it's just kind of nice for a very basic introduction to water cycle, but also just to build your vocabulary. Here's steam, clouds, like what's the difference between steam and clouds? So there's a lot of opportunity for like kindergarten and first grade to kind of correct misconceptions and really figure out what's going on with water. Here's the different forms of water, so you can talk about matter. Here's the water cycle, just a little intro to it. And of course, a page on conserving water. Very appropriate now in Austin, Texas, after our winter storms where we were all without water for a while. So that is Hey Water. Here's a page I really like. Sometimes you lie quiet and calm, lake. It's a good one.
I really like looking at the back matter. I know some of our first graders are studying text features right now, and it looks like that has some really great ones to show as examples, especially to go along with weather and whatnot. Shout out there to Miss Foster. We've been talking about that lately.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. I have a first grader that I live with, so I know that they've been talking about in first grade also the forms of matter as well. So it's kind of perfect, liquid, solid, and gas. So very timely for first grade, apparently, on a lot of levels.
Love those picture books that have that nonfiction science content.
Me too. I agree.
I've got a one for you today. This is Ohana Means Family. This was written by Athena Loomis and illustrated by Kennard Park, who is an award-winning illustrator. And this is such a beautiful story. It talks about the tradition of the Hawaiian luau, and it uses repetition all the way through the book. The illustrations are just beautiful. But this is the kalo to make the poi for our Ohana's luau. And then later, you have a longer thread. These are the hands so wise and old that reach through the water clear and cold into the mud to pick the kalo to make the poi for our Ohana's luau. Wow. So that repetition all the way through the book, I think, is wonderful. And I think what I got really excited when I was thinking about it, not just for the story, which is beautiful, and I love the traditions and the illustrations and how it really reflects this culture. I also thought, what a great model for procedural writing, to see step by step that this thing has to happen before this thing happens for our younger readers. And then I thought for our older readers, what a cool model of writing for poetry to think about something abstract. Like when we talk about how we speak to each other, especially, in 4th and 5th grade, sometimes we're looking at how what we say has consequences. Mm-hmm. So like, these are the words that I said to my friend that made my friend feel this way, that made my friend do this thing, and how it's sort of a chain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or even power and systems throughout the world. When we're talking, especially this month in February, we've been talking a lot about Black history and equity issues, and where are some of the causes and what are some of the things that we can do to affect change. So I thought, oh, what a really cool book. Which isn't really written for that purpose, but I thought that would be.
I love that connection, though. That's so cool. What a beautiful book.
Yeah,
That illustrator I recognize from those that really cool series that's like from autumn to winter and from spring to summer. You know what I'm talking about? I love that series.
yes, and the pictures of family here too. I mean, you could take it in a completely different direction from what we were just talking about, and explore what it means to be a community and gather together. Just beautiful illustrations.
Gorgeous. Cool. I haven't gotten to read that one yet. I'm really excited. Thanks for sharing it. All right, well, speaking of Black History Month, I've got a cool one. This is a biography of DJ Kool Herc and the creation of hip hop, one of the few American, I mean, I think two, right? We get credit for two American forms of music. We've got jazz, we've got hip hop. And When the Beat Was Born is its title. It was written by LaBon Carrick-Hill and illustrated by Theodore Taylor III. And this is so cool. It's about like how we started having turntables and how they would scratch the records on the turntables and like these giant house parties that they would have back in the 70s in New York City to start
Look at the size of those speakers.
Yeah. One day, Kool Herc's father bought a monster sound system with giant 6-foot speakers. But when he hooked up the system, instead of a really big sound, a little mumbling sound trickled out. He spent days switching wires and plugging things into other things until one day the sound was big. Not big like Kool Herc, but big, like an entire block in the Bronx. He just kept messing with it. I love that.
Good maker mindset.
Then he starts, exactly. Yeah, I love that. So then he starts, having his house parties. They have like these giant block parties where they're all, just having fun. And then they start talking about doing these rhythms on top of the beats. And so it originally started that you would like toast someone. So you would, and so that's why, that connects to me because in hip hop now, a lot of rappers, when they talk, they'll talk about like how cool they are. So I like this, that where it kind of goes back to the beginning of that they would toast each other or toast themselves. And then of course, break dancing starts. So it's just an amazing intro to a lot of like hip hop and the beginning of hip hop culture. And I love it. Also, shout out to Jamaica, because a lot of the roots they talk about in here of the things they started in hip hop come from a lot of facets of Jamaican culture as well. Then there's some a cool like author's note and a timeline in the background. Since we're talking about back matter today, I love me some back matter. And then of course the bibliography, as all good nonfiction has.
The illustrations in that book look like you could really delve into it for a while. There are a lot of great details.
Yes, I would definitely say this one, like, just look at how much text is on the page. This isn't probably like a kindergarten kind of picture book. You're going to want, my page got turned. That folded. But this is like a 3rd, 4th, and 5th. This was actually a Bluebonnet book back in the day. So, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I would say would be the right audience for this one.
Nice. I am super, super, super excited to share this book. I'm kind of surprised we haven't talked about it because it's such a lovely, lovely book. This is The Undefeated. It was written by Kwame Alexander, Kabir Nelson. I mean, an amazing combination of people. And you can see like there's not even enough space on the cover for all of the awards that this book has. They're just everywhere. It has, since we're talking about it, incredible back matter because it features some really powerful pieces from history. So the illustrations, even just the front pages are impressive and they invite you to ponder things. This is for the unforgettable, the swift and sweet ones who hurdled history and opened a world of possible. I mean, what an opening. Undeniable, unflappable. And you can see here in these illustrations, there's a lot to look into, just like we were talking about.
Yeah, I love that they're all
unafraid.
Real. They look just so realistic.
It's lovely and powerful. And when you get here, this is for the unspeakable. I can't stop shivering at these pages. They require you to stop and think and feel. And that's what good literature does, right? It demands that you take a moment and you stop turning pages and you experience it. And this book really, really invites you to do that. The really powerful thing for our students, it does end It does end too with this gorgeous illustration that I just had to share. But it's got all this great information here at the back. So it says this is for the unlimited, and in that section, it gives you a profile of some of the people featured in the illustrations. And it's not just 2 pages, it's a lot of information. So your students, parents, teachers, families could really delve into just the back matter and get a lot of really powerful information. Great model for writing your own poetry. I think our students could really write some powerful things modeled after this, and do some research and exploration. So it's just a gift of a book. Lovely.
I agree. I believe it's the first book ever that won the Caldecott and the Newbery, right? Within the same book.
I can't tell you that, but I don't know if it's the first or not, but I mean, that should tell you something.
Pretty amazing.
It's also a Coretta Scott Award winner. So
cool.
Yes.
Yeah, very decorated and well deserved. I was just reading this to some classes in the past couple weeks, and I found this video where they featured Kadir Nelson on CBS, and they were showing a painting that he started working on at the beginning of the pandemic. And you get to watch him actually paint it, and it is incredible. So I'll send you that link, Miss Wright, and then maybe we can put it in our description for the video, because I would love for our viewers to be able to watch it. To watch Kadir Nelson paint is unreal. You got to try it.
Yeah, that's a fabulous. I can't even believe there could be more extra, because that book already has so much going for it. So yes,
yeah,
that would be
amazing. Yeah, especially for them, like what a dream team too. Like Kwame Alexander and Kadir Nelson both. Like what? So cool. So cool.
Can't go wrong there. No,
you really can't. We last year.
All right, what's up next?
I was wanting to tell you one more thing about this book, because I just love it. Our 5th grade mock Caldecott last year, they picked Solway, but our second book was the Undefeated. And so then when we watched the ALA Youth Media Awards live to see which book actually won, and the Undefeated one, I recorded the 5th graders to see, and they just cheered, and Kwame Alexander retweeted me. It was so cool. I was like, Kwame Alexander retweeted me. It was like the best tweet ever. All right, I got another one for you.
That is the best tweet.
Yeah, it was for sure
excellent.
Like the highlight of my Twitter experience, all 15 years of it, that moment last year. All right, this last one that I want to show you today is, I didn't realize I picked all nonfiction today. Kind of interesting. This is called Snowflake Bentley, and this is him. His nickname is Snowflake. And it's written by Jacqueline Briggs Martin. It's illustrated by Mary Azarian, and it actually won the Caldecott Medal as well the year it came out. And it's the biography of this guy. His name is Willie Bentley, and when he starts off as a little boy, he is just super into snow. And he lives way up north in Vermont, so it makes sense that he's going to get exposure to a lot of snow. So when he starts getting older, he starts really trying to draw snowflakes. He wants to really show people how cool they are, but he has a hard time photographing them, or like getting them, like drawing them before they melt. So he eventually gets this super cool camera. His parents don't have a lot of money, but they're like, we don't care. We're gonna figure it out. And they buy him this cool camera, 1928. It's the one on the front cover. And he starts photographing real snowflakes. And so, of course, everybody's just overwhelmed by how intricate and amazing, and like that it's real. So he makes book collections of them as he gets older. And then I love at the end too. I always love it when they put back matter again, real photos, and then these are some of his real photos of real snowflakes. I mean, that's an incredible. It's art. Amazing.
That is a great blend of science and art. I can think of so many things that teachers and families could do to extend that information. And photography is such an important part of our experience now, because we have so much media all the time. So for students to learn and think about how to capture something, and then of course the challenge of how to capture a snowflake is a
right. You have a very limited time frame. That's a great point. I hadn't thought about that. That's another cool way to explore it. Good thinking.
Nice. All right, well, my last book that I have to share with you today is one of my favorites. It's an older book. This is called Locomotion. It's written by Jacqueline Woodson. And I love this book because it's written in free verse. And the main character, Lonnie, is living with a foster family. His parents died in a fire, And he has a younger sister, and his younger sister was adopted into a different family. So he gets to see her sometimes, but not nearly as often. And he's dealing with the loss of his family and the loss of his sister, because even though she lives in the same town, it's just not the same. They're not together as a family anymore. And he writes and tells all the story through short poems. So some of them are haiku, and he writes a sonnet, and some are free verse poems, and a nice blend of different models. So he's trying to figure out who he is as a student at school with some different classmates. He's trying to figure out where he fits into his new foster family, how he connects to his younger sister Lily, and how he recovers from the loss of his parents, but also some time that he spent in a group home for boys, which was not a safe place for him. So it deals with a lot of really serious issues, and it does it beautifully. The writing is just absolutely gorgeous and powerful. And even though this book was published a while ago now, I think maybe 15 years ago, I think it's still relevant and it's still powerful, and that a lot of our upper grade students would find a lot to explore about this. And of course, there's that teacher character who encourages the student to write in the book, which you see a lot. But I do think that our own students might like to try to use this book as a model to write some poems about what they see. There are a couple of poems where he writes about a sometimes poem, just like, oh, here's something that happens every day. It's just a small moment. And it's nice to capture pieces of our lives that way. We think that we need to capture what's special or unusual, but over time, what's your normal changes, and you forgot to capture that. So you can capture that with our photography, like we were just talking about, but we can also capture that with our writing. So to slow down and really think about, what do I see in the room around me? What relationships are important, and how do I feel about them? There's just a lot of potential for discussion and writing with this book.
So cool.
It's a good one.
It's awesome. Everything Jacqueline touches too is just amazing too. I love all of her stuff.
Oh, for sure. She's it, and her picture books, and this one is just a. And then there's a sequel too. It's called Peace, Locomotion, and it talks a little bit more about where his life, how that moved on, and his younger sister some more. So.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to check that one out. Awesome. Well, we do have some fan art today.
Yay, fan art!
Yep, I got one. So this is an art piece from Dominic. He is currently in 4th grade, and he sent this in. He emailed it to me so kindly. So he's out there watching Book Buzz. So thank you, Dominic, for watching. And I love, do you see at the bottom where he wrote the word buzz? It's like ombre. It goes from black to gold. Isn't that cool?
Yes. I really am appreciating how the bee is embedded into the words there in the middle of the hive. Thank you so much, Dominic. We really appreciate your fan art. And anybody else who would like to send some our way, we love it.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. Thank you, Dominic. We appreciate it. All right. Well, Miss Wright, it was so good to talk books with you today. I love it.
So great. I love the choices that we had today. I think are especially good. I always think that, but it's so great to get to share them. And we really hope that our readers at Forest North and Jolie Johnson are appreciating these books and all the books that we have in our library. Don't forget to contact us if you need any help with book checkout, because that's what we're here for.
When you need a good book and everybody does, tune in to the Book Buzz.
When you need a good book and everybody does, tune in to the Book Buzz.
When you need a good book and everybody does, tune in to the Book Buzz.